Policing and justice. In recent weeks we've had the apparent public difference of opinion between you and Jeffrey Donaldson on whether or not the full-time reserve is a deal breaker. We've heard you speaking at the news conference after your meeting with Matt Baggott, but tell us now again, you're quite happy for the reserve to be disbanded as a freestanding unit as long as officers are accommodated somewhere else, those who wish to be.
I'm most certainly not quite happy for that to happen. We went to a meeting with the Chief Constable and made it very clear that we thought that he was taking the wrong decision. We made it clear to him that we'd spoken to senior officers of the service across the country who said that they relied upon the reserve and found it an essential component of their policing in their areas. We strongly asked him that he should reconsider that matter. He indicated that he had proposals which he believed could get the confidence of the community in terms of how he could move forward, and that there were very important positions, and we're not talking just about pen-pushing positions, important positions that could be filled by those who are presently in the reserve.
But is your analysis still that he's wrong?
Yes, it is my position that he's wrong.
But you respect his operational independence?
Well, we have to, and it would be folly if we were not to accept his operational independence, but that doesn't require us to agree with him on everything that he does.
So it's not a deal breaker?
No, what
he will do what he wants to do and you will go along with it?
Yeah, well, let's go back, and I don't know why people find this one so hard to understand. The requirement, the one requirement for the devolution of policing and justice is that there is public confidence. And we are right to warn the government of the factors that have to be taken into account in order to build that public confidence. And this is one of the issues which I believe goes to the heart of public confidence. So I think it damages the public confidence that is required for us to be able to get over the line in terms of policing and justice.
But it is elastic, isn't it? I mean, you and Jeffrey Donaldson seem to have a different view on it.
Well, it's more than elastic as far as the views of MPs or anybody else is concerned. Community confidence goes to the confidence of every individual within the community. And you may find that the issue of the reserve is an important issue, and somebody else in the studio may find that it's not the most important issue for them. Somebody else might find parading to be a more important issue, because it is public confidence. What is necessary to get that level of public confidence?
But you have to set parameters.
Well, we have. And we have indicated the kind of things that need to be dealt with, in our view, and resolved in order to build that confidence, and this is one of them.
But to be absolutely clear in this, the reserve does not have to continue as a freestanding frontline operational unit for you to be happy.
Well, for me to be happy, it would require to be standing as a...
For you to go along with it?
Well, what we have said is that the requirement that we've set down, and we can't change our preconditions as we go along each day. There is one precondition, and that is the necessity to get public confidence in the devolution of policing and justice. And we have indicated the kind of issues that need to be resolved, that being one of them.
But this is what I'm trying to clear up. What do you mean by resolved? Give us your bottom line on it.
Well, I don't know why you struggle with this one so much. I've indicated resolved means something that can get the confidence of the community, because it is public confidence.
What does that mean? I mean, does that mean, you say you don't want people to become pen pushers, but if these people who want to be accommodated in civilian roles are so accommodated, will your demands on the full-time reserve simply fade away?
Will that get public confidence? That's the question.
How do you know? How do I know?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. You don't know until the time that we're asking people and consulting with them.
So how can this ever be resolved?
Because we deal with all of the outstanding matters. We then put the package that's available to the people by way of consultation, and the people tell us whether they have public confidence in the powers being devolved. And if they haven't, then very clearly we will not proceed.
Which people and what form of consultation?
Well,
referendum or an election?
We had a consultation at the time of St Andrews. We published a document which outlined what the package was. We put it into the local newspapers and we asked people to respond to us, and tens of thousands did.
Martin McGuinness in the meantime says if there's no date set for devolution by Christmas, everything's in deep trouble. You've said threats and blackmail don't work. Who's making threats?
Well, I think if you're starting to talk about free fall and meltdown and using terms like that, there clearly is implicit a threat that unless we meet somebody's timetable, that the Assembly and its structures will come to an end. Those are the kind of issues that I don't respond to. If anybody starts threatening me, I go immediately to the handbrake.
But you're setting your parameters, he's setting his.
Well,
he's saying we need some movement of this. You're saying, well, at some stage we'll put out some consultation document, but we don't know when that's going to happen. So this could go on forever.
I go around this country every day of the week. I don't have people coming up to me in the streets and saying, I wish you'd get on with policing and justice. This is really important. This is the most important thing in my life. People are coming up to me in the streets and talking about the economy, talking about jobs, talking about education, talking about health. Those are the issues that people are concerned about, not policing and justice.
But you're making it top of the agenda.
I'm not making it the top of the agenda. You're
Parades
making it top of the agenda.
Parades. No, if you want to get policing and justice involved, that's an important issue. You will accept, right?
I am quite relaxed about policing and justice. We want to have policing and justice powers devolved. It is part of the policy of the Democratic Unionist Party, but we will not do it until our terms are met, and we've set those out very clearly. The terms being that we need to have public confidence, and I don't see that public confidence at this moment in time. It is growing, but it is not there yet.
And you'll have no idea when it might be there. Could be 5, 10 years, you're saying?
Well, I'm not saying when it's going to be. I hope it will be without undue delay.
All right. Well, Martin McGuinness needs some kind of certainty on it. So if he doesn't get it, what do you think will happen?
Well, why does he need some kind of certainty?
Because he thinks it needs to move on.
And it is moving on. We worked out a process which we both agreed to, which we publicly released, and we are working through the elements of that process, and we're not at an end of that process. There are still things that Martin McGuinness and I and other parties in the Assembly have to agree on. Issues such as the relationship between a Justice Minister and the Executive, what kind of decisions come to the Executive. So there's lots more work yet to be done.
So how would you characterise the state of things? He's talking about deep trouble. What do you think he means by deep trouble?
Well, I'm not going to be the interpreter of Martin McGuinness's words, but they do have a tang of threat attached to them. All I can say to the people of Northern Ireland is that I'm committed to the Assembly and Executive. I won't be walking away from it. I want it to work. And that's not just work in terms of the existing powers that have been devolved to it, but I want to see more powers devolved. I want to see policing and justice powers devolved to the Assembly. That's why I'm working through the outstanding issues and will continue to do so energetically and sincerely.
From what you said to me, there's absolutely no prospect of any date being agreed by Christmas.
Well, I'm not in the business of working on the assumption that the calendar is the important thing. What is important is to get it right, because this is something that goes to the lives of every individual in Northern Ireland. It's a life and death matter. If
Sinn Féin were to walk away, which would precipitate an election, a divided unionism could let Sinn Féin as the largest party. Therefore, under the St Andrews Agreement, Sinn Féin would have the First Minister's job. Would you serve as a Deputy First Minister in such an administration?
If I go into any election, I can assure you I'll be going into that election to win and to maintain the position of the DUP as the largest party.
But let's be realistic, though.
Well, I am being realistic.
The three-way split in unionism now.
There is a three-way split at the present time, and I think that you'll see that that will become less so in terms of the Westminster elections. And I think when people of Northern Ireland know what the choice is at an Assembly election, I think Unionists will do everything possible to ensure that we don't have a Sinn Féin First Minister.
Would you serve as a Deputy First Minister?
I'll be serving as First Minister, or one of my colleagues will.
Would you serve? Let's look into the future. Maybe the next election, there could come a time when Sinn Féin would be the largest party. Would you ever, under any circumstances, serve as a Deputy First Minister?
The future I see is different from the one that you see. The future I see still has the Democratic Unionist Party as the largest party.
Peter Rumson, thank you very much indeed.